This is John Robeson, and I'm here at Robeson Service looking at a Defender 110 restoration. This is a European market turbo diesel Defender from the early 1990s era, and we have rebuilt the body, which involved fairly extensive rust repair. It's finished inside with paint. It has new doors. And the new doors are the Wolf production doors, so they come with different door handles and different door panels. You can see we now have tumblers to take locks if they're desired. We have push button handles opening the doors. We have roll up windows. We have pull levers. We have modern push button locks. So this whole locking and latching mechanism is totally different. That's true in back also. In the rear, we have a new door. Again, the original was rotted out. This is your original style rear door latch, an updated rear window wiper, updated door holder there. So there is no rear door panel for this car. We have to decide what to do with the rest of the inside. Here's the headliner, which, as you can see, headliner's dirty, it's sagging, but the back part of it is, it is usable. It could be left as it is. It could be secured up there to the inside of the roof with double-sided tape. Here we can see the seam from the roof panel to the body sides. And you can see we have good paint now. All these pieces were painted before the body was assembled, so they're painted everywhere. They could be left visible, as you see, or they could be covered in vinyl or covered in other upholstery. Back here, we have space for toolboxes, jump seats. We can put carpet in the center. They almost always have rubber mats, but they often have carpet on top of that. So we've got decisions then on how to finish the back, how to finish the roof, how to finish the sides. Let's go up this side. And now, if we look in, you can see right now we have good repaired floor panels and floor structure. There's no rust anymore. Everything's painted green. So this could be just left green paint, or it could be upholstered. These door panels are kind of a dark gray color. So we got to decide, do we just have a boundary here, just like this, where it goes gray to green body? Do we let this be green body, or do we cover this in gray vinyl to match the door panel? We can, there's no right or wrong answer here. We can do either thing. Here's the upper seat belt anchor. So that's going to be there. If we don't cover it, you're going to have exposed hardware in areas like this. You're going to have exposed hardware up here. Most of these cars have vinyl covering the back of this panel here, and they will have rubber or carpet mats on the floor. The step here that the seat bases are on, that can be left as you see it, or it can be upholstered. These are good later model Defender seats in the car right now. These could be used, or they could be upholstered in the Harris tweed, or they could be replaced with something entirely different. Up here in front, there's actually there's a slight mismatch in color, though that piece is darker than this piece. So, and this piece essentially matches the color of the gray of the interior. These panels are easily dyed, so my thought would be to dye the darker gray panels the lighter color so that the panels and the seats match if we're going to stick with those. This is what it looks like with a metal Tuffy box, which is a lockable storage box. If we don't use a Tuffy box, there isn't any lockable storage in the car at all. But other options are available, including putting a little jump seat there. Here you can see the old floor paneling. Everything's painted green, so that, as far as that goes, that's all fine. Here's your boot covering the holes where the shift linkages go through the tunnel. Normally, this whole area will be covered with a rubber sound deadening mat, and then often it'll have carpet on top of that. Here you can see the seat box, again, is now painted. And all this stuff was rotted out originally and it was unsightly. Now it could be left green, it could be covered in vinyl, could be covered in carpet. All of those things were commonly done. Here's the appearance of the dashboard, which I think, as a basic Defender, is going to be fine. Some of this is not in place right now. The covering where my hand is, where the defroster outlets are, that's not fitted because some of the wiring's not done, but this is all, I think, okay. This has an old plastic Defender steering wheel. That could be replaced with the more modern leather wrapped wheel. This wheel could be leather wrapped, or this wheel could be just left alone. Here, I said that the headliner was destroyed up in the front of the car, so this is what the inside of the roof structure looks like. We can just leave this, or we can find a stock panel to cover it, or we can make something totally different. What you see right there, that's the bracket where the interior light would attach if the car had an interior light. This car didn't have that, but it certainly can. It could also have lights over there. It could have reading lights here next to the rear view mirror. Those are all options we can think about too. So we've got now, we've got a number of questions on how to do that final assembly. The truck came into us with these, it's just patina of age. It's a kind of a non-stick black paint that somebody applied probably decades ago, and there's spots and such on it. But it's perfectly functional. This could be left alone. This could be refinished. We had to replace the turn signal marker tail lights with modern reproductions because the insides of the old ones were corroded. We've retained the European style H4 headlamps the car came in with. This is the car's original silver plastic grille work. These are the original diamond plate fender tops. There's an air snorkel that isn't on the car but was part of it originally. We do not have the hood hinges mounted, but this structure is original. These covers are original. These are the original style mirrors. Land Rover has a mirror that's an inch taller. Most people want the taller mirrors because they make it much easier to see. The downside to the taller mirrors is they have more area and they're pushed backwards by wind blast at 70 miles an hour. However, this truck's being set up for Nantucket and the islands where it's only going to go 25 miles an hour, and I would say in that environment the taller mirrors are a lot better. Here I'll just show, here's the floor area, which again typically will be carpeted or rubber matted. Another thing that people often ask for is to put Dynamat, which is like a lead and rubber composite adhesive padding. They put Dynamat here. They put it on all these metal surfaces to reduce the sound transmitted from gravel hitting the bottom of the car, the rumbling of the engine, the rattling of the exhaust. Dynamat is a very common request inside the doors, on the floors, in the bulkheads, the firewall, to quiet the car down. And that, again, this is the time to make that decision if we're going to put Dynamat in it. I'll just move in. I'll show you that's the look of the steering wheel. And that's the look of the instruments. This stuff is all original. Switches underneath. So, and looking in here, you can see usually people want to finish these things if nothing else in vinyl, but like I said, we can do whatever is desired. Out here, these dogleg moldings were ruined by rust, and we have new dogleg moldings, and we have new rocker panels to put on, and there's a decision to make there too, and that is that when the rocker panels go on, they attach to it's called frame outriggers, these strong structures here. So if you want to install side steps so that you can step up here where I am to get into the vehicle, this is the time to do that, because the side steps are mated to the rocker sills, which come down here, and they'd be right about here where my hand is. So if we want to put side steps on this car for access, we should decide that before we fit those rockers. In the back, we have a similar decision. You can see here these, all but a couple of these lights had to be renewed. That's an original one. That's a new one. Over here, we can install a fold-down step. So the step would be right there to allow people easier entrance into the back of the car. If we're going to put jump seats in the back of the car, might make sense to put a step there, but if we're going to put cargo boxes or just leave it open, well then probably no point to that. Other things I'll just show. This is all the original markings. It's original glass. These rubber moldings are all new here. These vents will be closed up. The Alpine windows, original glass, all new rubber attachments. All the attachments for these side windows, all this stuff is new. And the door weather strips are new. So the car is the most weather tight it's probably been in decades, and it is as good in that respect as any vintage Land Rover, which is to say it's not perfect, but it's pretty good. We also have a question on the rear. Do we wish to install any kind of rear bumper? A number of these vehicles have tubular bumpers that come out the back here. We sometimes make bar style bumpers like on the front, but Land Rover sold this vehicle with nothing back there, and we can certainly leave it that way. There is provision for a towing hitch to be bolted on here, and although this is not a powerful vehicle to tow something else with, if it's on the beach somewhere like Nantucket, probably not a bad idea to at least put a heavy recovery point there, so if this thing gets stuck in the sand and you need to pull it out, it's easy to do it. And if we're going to do that, up in front, you have factory recovery points here where I'm pointing, see behind the bumper? But for ease of recovery, if this were mine, I would put heavy hooks here. I would bolt them right there to the top of the frame rails, there and there, that secure the bumper, so that you could easily grab this vehicle in front or in back and pull it out of harm's way, like if you get it stuck on the beach in a rising tide. You can see here that we're sitting on the new NATO wheels, and these are the Michelin XZL military tires. You can see the heavy cleating on these things. They're very, very good tires, and they're good in the environment where this vehicle is destined to go. So I think that is most of the decisions that I have with respect to trim. We also, as we consider the final trimming of this, we have to think about, do we want any in-car entertainment? Many people today are relying on Bluetooth speakers that they carry in the back of the car and putting nothing in the vehicle. And you can stream, obviously, to a Bluetooth speaker. You can stream Sirius or anything else from your phone now. If you do want a radio and you want in-car speakers, this is the time to decide that, because the speakers are going to have to go in when the when any finishing trim goes in. And in that same vein, if you plan on parking this vehicle, for example, among the dunes, you're going to use it as a backdrop for a party or cookout or whatever, would you want to put powerful floodlights up here so that you can light all the area behind you for camping or cooking or whatever you want to do? Would you want to put powerful lights on the side? Would you want to put a roof rack on this, which would carry lights that faced forward? Would you want other lights in the front? The advent of LED lighting makes it possible to put, real surround campsite or outdoor expedition, whatever you want to call it, lighting on these vehicles, and the old electrical systems are still able to support that. So that's another thing I'd think about. So I think on this the eve of this July 4th, this is all stuff to think about, and there are decisions that we should be making in the next month or so as we continue to move forward. Now that we've got a running, driving vehicle, there's still a good number of hours to go to finish this, but the end is obviously in sight, and that's next.